Simo Häyhä, also known as the White Death, is considered one of the deadliest snipers in history. His remarkable achievements during the Winter War between Finland and the Soviet Union in 1939 to 1940 have earned him a legendary status among military experts and history enthusiasts alike. Despite the harsh conditions and overwhelming enemy forces, Häyhä's marksmanship and courage made him a symbol of resilience and skill in one of the coldest and most intense conflicts of the 20th century. Häyhä was born on December 17, 1905, in the small village of Rautjärvi, located in Finland's southeastern corner. He grew up in a rural setting, spending much of his youth hunting and becoming highly skilled with firearms. He didn't just enjoy hunting for sport, he was also deeply connected with nature and learned how to move silently and blend into his surroundings, which would later prove invaluable as a sniper. When the Soviet Union invaded Finland in 1939, the Winter War began, and the Finnish army found itself vastly outnumbered by the Soviet forces. Despite the imbalance in numbers, the Finnish soldiers were determined to defend their homeland. Simo Häyhä joined the Finnish army at the outbreak of the war and was assigned to the 6th Company of the Finnish 34th Infantry Regiment stationed along the heavily fortified Mannerheim Line, a defense line set up to protect Finland from Soviet invasion. Häyhä's role in the Finnish army was as a sniper, and it was in this role that he would cement his place in military history. The Soviet army, which vastly outnumbered the Finnish forces, relied heavily on artillery, tanks and aircraft, which gave them a technological edge. But Finland's forces had something that the Soviets didn't: superior knowledge of the terrain, cold weather expertise, and soldiers who could make use of their surroundings like few others could. Simo Häyhä's sniper skills were extraordinary. Using a Finnish-made M28/30 rifle, a variant of the Mosin Nagant, Häyhä was able to kill over 500 Soviet soldiers. Some reports suggest the number could have been even higher. What made Häyhä particularly deadly was his ability to shoot with precision from extreme distances, often while lying in the snow for hours, perfectly concealed. He was known for his stealth, taking advantage of the snow to blend into his surroundings, and his patience, waiting for the perfect shot. The conditions during the Winter War were brutal, with temperatures often reaching -40 degrees Fahrenheit or -40 degrees Celsius. Häyhä used the cold to his advantage. He dressed in a white camouflage suit that helped him remain nearly invisible in the snowy landscape, and he would often stay in the same spot for hours, waiting for a target to appear. His strategy was to be as invisible and still as possible, reducing the chance of being spotted by Soviet forces. Häyhä was famous for never using a scope on his rifle, relying instead on his iron sights. This was a very unusual choice, but it allowed him to be faster and more effective in shooting, especially in low visibility conditions like blizzards or fog. Häyhä's tactics were simple but highly effective. He would often position himself on a ridge or a snowbank, where he had a clear view of Soviet positions. Once he had a target in his sights, he would wait until they were in the perfect position before firing. After taking the shot, he would quickly move to a new position to avoid detection. This was essential as the Soviets were actively hunting him, and there was a significant reward offered for his capture or death. But Häyhä didn't just rely on his sniper rifle to take out targets. He was also skilled with a submachine gun, the Suomi KP/31, which he used to engage enemy soldiers at closer ranges. The combination of a sniper rifle for long-range kills and a submachine gun for close combat made him a versatile and deadly force on the battlefield. One of the most remarkable aspects of Häyhä's career as a sniper was how he managed to kill so many enemy soldiers without being detected. It wasn't just his skill with a rifle, it was his ability to stay hidden and blend into the environment. He often used the snow to his advantage, keeping his rifle's barrel just above the snow so it wouldn't be visible to enemy soldiers. He would also keep his breath controlled to avoid fogging up his surroundings or giving away his position. Häyhä's enemies were well aware of him, and the Soviets made several attempts to take him out. They would send out entire squads to search for him, even dropping bombs in his general location. But Häyhä was always one step ahead. He often moved so silently and swiftly that he could evade detection even in the most extreme conditions. Soviet commanders knew they were facing a dangerous adversary, and many of them would send out their best troops to eliminate him. Yet no matter how hard they tried, Simo Häyhä continued to outsmart them. His reputation grew rapidly among both Finnish and Soviet forces. The Soviets began referring to him as the White Death because of his lethal precision and his ability to kill at a distance, seemingly from nowhere. Finnish soldiers, on the other hand, viewed him as a national hero. He was the symbol of the Finnish resistance and the embodiment of the underdog, holding his ground against an overwhelming force. But Simo Häyhä's remarkable run as the deadliest sniper in history didn't last forever. In March of 1940, after months of continuous fighting, Häyhä was finally injured. A Soviet soldier managed to land a shot to his face, severely wounding him. The bullet struck his lower jaw and cheek, shattering much of his face, but Häyhä survived. He was immediately evacuated and spent several months recovering in the hospital. Remarkably, he survived the injury, and after the war he returned to a quiet life in Finland, away from the public eye. After the Winter War ended in 1940, Häyhä's achievements were recognized by both his country and the world. He was awarded numerous honors for his bravery and skill, but he never sought fame or recognition. He preferred to live quietly and privately, enjoying a life of peace after the horrors of war. He lived to the age of 96, passing away on April 1st, 2002, having outlived many of his peers. Today, Simo Häyhä is remembered as one of the greatest snipers in history. His legacy endures in military circles where his marksmanship and tactics continue to be studied. He was not just a sniper, he was a symbol of Finland's resilience during the Winter War and an example of how skill, patience, and a deep understanding of one's environment can make all the difference in a fight. Häyhä's story is a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary feats are carried out by the quietest individuals, far from the spotlight.